Before the arrival of Europeans, the Muwekma Ohlone Indians lived in the San Francisco Bay Area for more than 10,000 years. In the Ohlone language, Muwekma means the people. For generations they hunted, fished, harvested fruits and vegetables, and tended the land through selective burning. Around 1769, the first Spanish colonists arrived in California. At this time, an estimated 340,000 Native Americans occupied the California area. After the influx of Spanish colonialists, numerous Catholic missionaries were established, including one of the oldest missions in California, the Mission Dolores, here in San Francisco. The Catholic missionaries and Spanish government soon took possession of the lands of the Ohlone and other local tribes and began to indoctrinate, feed, and house the natives. Soon, the populations of California natives began to die from European diseases, such as smallpox, pneumonia, tuberculosis, and venereal disease. Until 1924, there was a $5 to $10 bounty for the scalp of natives in the state of California. By 1930, the estimated population of native Californians had plummeted from 340,000 to 20,000. In the early 1900s, the Muwekma Ohlone were federally recognized as a distinct tribe. Mistakenly thought to be extinct in 1927, the tribe lost its federally recognized status. In the last 18 years, the Muwekma Ohlone people have revitalized themselves politically, spiritually, and culturally. Today, their tribal government continues the quest for reinstatement as a federally acknowledged Indian tribe. Nearly 300 years ago, there ran a pristine body of fresh water through large expanses of marshes in the southeast sector of present-day San Francisco. Now named Islayas Creek, this body ran almost 3 miles inland to Alemany Boulevard. This large marsh area was the home of a cornucopia of marine and terrestrial wildlife that fed the original human inhabitants, chiefly the Ohlone Indian clans. In the early 1990s, the local community established a park on the north shore of Islayas Creek, later recognized as the Muwekma Ohlone Sanctuary, with permission from the original Ohlone tribes of San Francisco. To date, this park has received more than $150,000 in federal grants for habitat restoration and environmental education. Thousands of youth and park groups have visited the Muwekma Ohlone Park until an environmental disaster that occurred on November 22, 2001. During the Muni 3rd Street light rail construction, while drilling under Islayas Creek, the soil collapsed and caused the PUC sewer main to break, which spilled millions of gallons of treated sewage into Islayas Creek. The PUC sewer main collapse was in the Muwekma Ohlone Park, and the emergency repairs began the next day, which resulted in the destruction of 30% of the park. Muni said they would not walk away from this disaster and asked what the park needed for mitigation. Constituents told Muni to pay for $70,000 of lost funding caused by the sewer main break. Muni's response was that they did not have the money. Then, in January 2005, Muni returned to the park to re-excavate the original sewer main collapse in efforts to bolster the failing emergency repairs of 2001, causing the destruction of an additional 30% of the park. This new area was the last sliver of habitat for the remaining colonies of Pacific chorus frogs on Islayas Creek, in addition to being a significant habitat for marine wildlife and the local community. The destruction of the Muwekma Ohlone Sanctuary on Islayas Creek is just an example of environmental, social, and economic genocide of the Bayview, Hunters Point, Potrero Hill, Butchertown, Dogpatch, and adjacent areas. This article is the first segment of a series investigating the last frontier of San Francisco, to be broadcast on Street Level TV.